What's going on? What's going on, everybody? Unapologetic Talk. We back at you again. You got my boy Chucky, my co-host, and myself, Graham Mayan. We gonna discuss what's going on with Brown up there, and to Jaylen Brown and the Boston Celtics. So what's up, man? What you think with the fallout now that Giannis went to Miami? What you think's gonna happen up there in Boston, Beantown?
It looks as though they're going to have to move Jaylen Brown. And the reason why I'm saying that is, you know, obviously they've put it out there for the last few years that they've been shopping him around. And obviously things have come to a head with them talking about moving him in the Giannis situation, which didn't happen. All since the season ended, obviously you've been hearing him say that this was the happiest year of basketball he had played, or the funnest year of basketball that he's played. And sometimes when players such as Jaylen Brown, um, you know, start getting talked about being moved and being traded, that becomes personal to those guys. It's obvious that he wants his own team. They've been shopping him around, and based on if they can find a suitor and make the money match, because I know his money, his tag is hefty. I think it's time that he that he moves on, and I think it would be best suited for for both parties, both him and the Celtics. Now, if they don't move him, then it's going to be a lot of kissing and making up. You know what I'm saying? And that could be tricky. You know what I'm saying? But I think they'll find a team out there. I know the Detroit Pistons have been talked about. Him moving there. I think he'll be a great fit in Detroit. Somebody to play beside Cade Cunningham, and there's a couple other teams that I think he could possibly go to, and he would fit well with those guys.
Well, yeah, I mean, I heard Brad Stevens talk today, and he was saying how he said he spoke to Brown prior to them doing this. But I think what you said is still, y'all try to get KD, y'all put me up there again. Now you're trying to get y'all, you put me out there again, and I think he's proved enough, put enough sweat and equity into the team, and showing he could lead the team that I think they should give him a little bit more respect in that. And like I say, it's gonna be a lot of kissing butt if he stays there. But I think he wants to move on, man. I don't think he wants to go through that again because he knows how they truly feel that they're going. And if not, if another opportunity comes to get somebody, guess who's gonna be up there again? Me. So I think he's probably like, you know what? Let's just end this all right now and send me on somewhere else. No, the where it's tough. I mean, I know you said Detroit, but then he's going almost back into the same situation where it's K's team. And I think he wants his team to where he's the centerpiece, and you build around me as opposed to joining with a Cade. Now it's kind of back in that same Tatum situation, and they're not gonna get rid of Cade. So if something big was to come up again for a trade, guess whose
Well,
name's going to be up again?
well, here's the thing. I mean, that situation could get tricky, right? Like, hey, you want your own team, but does that necessarily mean the team that you're going to is going to be a contender, right? Hey, they could move him to a team such as the Portland Trailblazers, right? Hey, if I was the Boston Celtics, I would move him, and I would try to get Drew Holiday back and another piece for him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now you make your team a lot stronger, and then you send him off to a team that may not be a contender in the West. Do he want that? I think from Jaylen Brown's perspective, what he's helped the Celtics do over the past years, he deserves the respect and be sent someplace where he has a chance to contend for a championship. Now, where that situation is, I don't know at this particular time, but I think that he should be sent someplace where he can contend, right? And I also think that the Boston Celtics deserves the respect to 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 receive something back to put their franchise in a better situation. You understand what I'm saying? So both parties have to be put in a situation where it's a win-win for both sides. Hey, you could possibly do a trade for Jaylen Brown to Phoenix, right? Would you trade Jaylen Brown for a Booker?
They ain't getting rid of Booker. And I say that I hear what you're saying. He's a good talent, but they're not getting rid of him only because he's a homegrown guy to them. They drafted him. He ain't going nowhere. I think that's a guy almost in a Steph where they're gonna no, we're gonna make sure we keep you. You're our guy. We drafted you. I think they're going to just build around him and keep him the main focal point of their team. But again, it puts him right back into that role again. I think what you said is true. Does he want, depending on where he goes? But I also think he can say, well, hey, I got a ring. I got an MVP. I've gotten paid. He may say, okay, let's use an example, Portland. Let's see what we can build. And maybe go to a team where he's the man because I've already got a ring. I don't need to prove that anymore. And I proved when I got it, I got the MVP. So he might just be willing to go to a team like that, see what he can do. And if it doesn't win, but they can't really say much because I got a ring, And then he's going to get paid because in a place like Portland, when it comes time, they're gonna be like, well, we got to keep him, so he's going to get the pay, So really, it's just what pieces. Would Portland have to give up, and any other team would have to give up to get him. But I don't know. I think he kind of wants his own team. I don't think he wherever he's the two places you mentioned, he's going to be a Robin. I think he wants to be Batman.
Right, but I mean, right now, looking at the land, the lay of the land, where can he possibly go where it's going to be just Jaylen Brown, where he's the top guy?
I mean, but Portland could be one.
Okay.
You could try to switch him and maybe work a Kawhi, get him go to the Clippers. He'll be the lead dog there, bringing Kawhi over here to the East because I'm sure the Clippers are ready to get all from Kawhi. Man, he great guy, great talent. He's just not available when they need him. So that's a possibility. To get off that, I'm sure again you're bringing in a guy who's younger, so the owner will be like, okay, we got another body we could build around. Off the top of my head, I'm trying to think where else.
Okay, but let me ask you this question: do you want to go to a place like a LA Clipper, to the LA Clippers, or any place, and you just be the only guy?
Well,
you understand what I'm saying?
He was the only
and
guy
that's not saying anything negative about the Clippers because I love the Clippers. Ty Lue is my man. That's my brother. But I'm saying. Do you want to go to a place like the Milwaukee Bucks and be the only player there? Because then you're going to be yelling, well, I ain't got no help. You know what I'm saying?
But I think he would know that going in. And he had nobody this year. If you think about who
No. You can't say that because with the Celtics, like the Celtics have a great team, bro. Like White and those guys, they don't get enough credit. They don't get the credit that they deserve. Those guys know how to play, and they can play. Pritchard can play his ass off. He's a baller, bro. He don't get enough credit. So, you can't say, oh, well, he was playing by himself this year. No, he just only didn't have his right hand. He didn't have his wingman and Tatum. But at the end of the day, you got to give those other guys credit. Those guys are champions. They were the number 2 seed in the East. So you can't say that. I understand how Jaylen Browns feel. Hey, man, everybody thought that the ship was going to fall because Tatum wasn't there, right? But I had an MVP season. I think I'm very deserving of having my own team. This was fun to me, right? I get that part. But what he didn't take into may not be taken into account is he was playing with some bad guys. Them guys can play. They champions. They know how to play. You take that to a team like a Brooklyn Nets, and you're the only guy there playing with a lot of young guys who don't understand how to win, who don't understand that championship pedigree as of yet, and you got to try to put that into those guys and lead them in a way that they've never been led before. Man, that's a lot of work, bro. And then you take that into account, and you losing games on a consistent basis, bro. That's rough.
It's a challenge though. And maybe he wants that challenge. Because look, I'm looking now at the Clippers roster. If they do that whole Kawhi thing, he still would have Darius Garland there. He would have what's that dude named John Collins there, Bradley Beal.
Okay,
he would have a little bit of talent there if the Clippers was to
Let's be honest. Bradley Beal, we don't know if he's gonna play every night.
Injury,
you don't know if Darius Garland gonna play from night to night, right? Why put yourself in that situation? One thing that you know about the Boston Celtics, all them guys gonna play pretty much every night. You rarely see Pritchard hurt. You rarely see White hurt. You rarely see what's the big man name, number 88? I can't think of his name offhand. You never really see those guys hurt. Like those guys seem to be healthy on a night-to-night basis. So it's easy to go in there and lead those guys because they love to play basketball and they're accountable and they hold each other accountable every single night. Versus, I'm finna go to the Clippers. First of all, being in the East and being in the West is two totally different things.
Totally different. I get that.
Okay, it's a lot more competitive out there out West. You out there and you leading the team. You finally got your own team, and everybody want their team until they don't.
Well, I mean, I don't. The only thing I guess we're all speculating because I don't think he's ever where he's. I don't know if he's actually said he wants his team, but I think he wants to be able to lead his team and not have to worry about constantly being brought up for trade, being traded in certain situations. And I think Boston's never said, "Hey, what? Let's try to trade Tatum." I mean, personally speaking, I like Brown better than Tatum. And now
Right.
now you got a guy who's he's injured
So
now. He's injured
so
now, so now he's
so think about what you just said. As a Boston Celtic, first of all, when you're a Boston Celtic, let's be honest, your goal is to win a championship every year. You're one of the most historical franchises in sports, not just basketball, but in sports. Those people want to win every year. So yeah, every year they're trying to get better as a team, as an organization. Right now, who is the only piece that you could possibly move to get better players? Right?
Brown,
Not
Tatum
saying,
and
not
Brown.
saying, not saying, not saying that you can't move Tatum, but he's coming off of an Achilles injury. Right? The person right now that has the most steam behind them that most people would want or has the most popular, the most value
It's Brown.
is Brown.
Right.
So you can't get upset and say, well, you know, don't trade me or whatever. Hey man, if you felt that way, you should have put a no trade clause in your contract. It's big enough for you to do that,
But it's
right?
hard to get because I don't think anybody has it in their contract anymore. The last people that had it was Beal and Braun, and they
Okay,
don't have it no more.
so now it's where can he possibly go? Because obviously he ain't finna be a Celtic for too much longer.
Yeah, I don't see.
And
that
if he
either.
goes somewhere else, and they're not viable or they're not a contender, then what?
Yeah, I mean, but he has to know that leaving, I that might be my future. I may lose for a couple of seasons. I might, I'm sure he has to know that he can't think I'm gonna go from Boston. I'm making it up for conversation and go to the Lakers or go to another winning or OKC. I know he knows if he leaves, he's going to go to a team that probably isn't going to do that well. I'm assuming he would know that.
What about Atlanta?
Great, that'd be a good. I mean, you got a lot of young guys, but a lot of talent on that team though.
And he'll be home.
That'd be a good fit for him. That'd be a good bit of talent on that team to build around him. Some young guys. Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be a good team to go to. And then they just got to pick up a good draft pick in this draft. That'd be a good look for him in Atlanta.
Hey, Jaylen Brown to the Atlanta Hawks. Tell me what y'all think. Unapologetic sport talk. Holla back.